Hey there, hope you're well. Look, today I want to tell you about today in 2024. There's a new key ingredient that you must have to get a DevOps job. That's what I'm going to tell you about in the next few minutes. So, look, what are the core skills to get a DevOps job? At absolute minimum, you need usually some cloud experience. There's some DevOps jobs that don't require that, but if you're not keeping up cloud experience, that is going to be an issue when you want to move to a cloud related role. So that's one which is almost essential. Another one is some form of infrastructure as code experience, and I think most of us know that the key one to have is Terraform. Yes, you may be using something else like CloudFormation or Pulumi, but they're really these days edge cases. You need to be using in every job Terraform. If you're not using it, you're losing it, as they say. So Terraform, and as I said earlier, preferably also cloud experience. Now, for a long time, for the last few years anyway, you probably noticed that scripting skills are needed, and usually they're talking about Bash. And unless you're in the Windows Azure world where it might be instead PowerShell, but usually it's Bash, and that has been pretty much essential, I would say, for the last 3 or 4 years, that you need the ability to script in Bash. So, great, you have all that. Now, what's new that they're suddenly asking for in 2024? Well, I'll tell you. The new thing that they're asking for, and it's not just scripting, but it's programming skills. So, what I'm talking about now is Python. Yeah, sure, there's some companies who are trying to ask for Golang, but it ain't really happening. But really, they do expect you to know Python. And as I say, you have to be a programmer in Python. It's no good anymore to just write 50 lines of code in a quick and dirty script. It's no good anymore to simply tell AI you need a function, give it even specific instructions, and it gives you that back, 50 lines of code, and you're ready to rock and roll. I mean, I use AI a lot exactly for those things, and I think it's great. However, you're going to be expected to be a programmer, to sit at an IDE with not much more than already having good knowledge of the basic constructs of that programming language, plus already good knowledge of standard libraries. Yes, you may be allowed to consult documentation for external libraries, but you're going to be expected to do just like a programmer, like a developer, Python these days. And the reason for all of this is because the job market has become so competitive. On the one side, you've got the economy not doing well, you've got the hiring activity is at an all-time low, because companies are afraid to invest, afraid to expand. If someone leaves a job, they won't even necessarily list a role again, a vacancy. They'll quite often just absorb that extra work into the existing team. So the availability, the supply of jobs is very low. And on the other side, the demand is still high. There's still people coming out of college, that hasn't slowed down yet, who are wanting to do DevOps jobs, and there's a whole bunch of people who've been laid off and are looking for work. So there's a huge disparity there. It's really flipped. It's no longer a place where recruiters are chasing you. It's the other way around. People are chasing recruiters. And what happens is, I saw a recruiter on LinkedIn say this, they get a ton of applications, including irrelevant ones. So like people who are desperate, like librarians and sales and marketing, they're applying to DevOps jobs. And of course they're completely unqualified, but recruiters are deluged with huge volumes and they don't know what to do. So part of what they do is they're now doing programming tests like Codility, HackerRank, that type of thing. And I've seen people say this on Reddit DevOps. I saw one guy say, look, every application I've had that's actually gone somewhere, they've given me a live coding test. And that can be, by the way, not just a Codility test. It can also be, I've had this myself, you go to an interview and they just spring upon you, not a whiteboard session, but actually give you a laptop and here, code in front of us. I had this code in front of 3 people and produce some Python for us. So this is, super difficult if you're not used to it. So my strong advice to you is you need to develop the muscle memory ideally, just like learning a new foreign language, speaking whatever, if you're learning English or something, you need to be practicing ideally every day to get better, develop that muscle memory, and be able to do really, really well. So I'll give you one tip. There's a site that I'm using at the moment, and it's really good, and there's maybe others as well, but I found this really cool. It has a track in several languages, including Python, and you just go step by step doing different exercises that it tells you, and it's really cool. You get to see community answers and all that kind of stuff. The site is called, it's a funny name, it's a strange name, it's called Exercism, Exercism. It's a very strange name. I don't really know why it's called that, but it's pretty cool, and I'm using it. Now there may be other sites out there as well, but this is the one I'm using and I like it, so I can thoroughly recommend it. But I want to underline again, in 2024 there's a key ingredient that you absolutely must have to be successful at getting a DevOps role, and that is programming. I don't mean scripting, I don't mean templating, I don't mean copying and pasting, I don't mean just looking up on Stack Overflow and pretty much getting, copy and paste a snippet of code. No, nothing like that. You need the muscle memory to actually be like a developer and come up with pretty decent code. So strongly advise that you just won't be able to succeed without it. So please, I hope you found this useful. This is from the ground, real anecdotes, real experience, and yeah, I'll see you around soon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.